Hello students, and welcome to this series of videos where we are going to talk about Arduino, the programming concept, different circuit elements, sensors, actuators, LEDs, LCDs and a lot of relevant components, and then implementing interesting projects using all of these. So this is going to be an interesting journey, and to start it, let us first talk about the board itself. That means the Arduino board. So Arduino is basically an open source board. You can use it to program and control hardware components. It's very flexible prototyping platform. It is basically designed for people who just want to explore their ideas and implement them to design any project. This is how an Arduino board looks like. It is slightly bigger than a credit card. So how did this whole thing started? In 2005, Arduino was invented in Italy. Massimo Benzi, the co-founder of this project, named it Arduino in the honor of Bardire Arduino. The idea was to make something which is less expensive for controlling different electronics project, because the fabrication is very costly process. The prototyping can be made faster, and it started to produce the boards in a small factory. So let us talk more about Arduino. Arduino is basically a board which is having a microcontroller. The microcontroller on Arduino Uno is Atmel AVR, which is 8-bit microcontroller. This board can take the input from different sensors. Both analog as well as digital sensors can be connected, and Arduino can receive both type of signals. Then it can control LEDs, display devices, motors and different actuators. The board can be assembled or purchased pre-assembled. It's an open source project. So the programming is in C++, very similar, very simple programming language can be used to program. So what are the advantages that we have with this board? First of all, it is very inexpensive. For Indian rupees 400 to 500 you can get the open source version, and for around 1700 to 2000 you get the original Italy made Arduino Uno. It is cross platform. You can work on Linux, Windows, Mac OS, anything. It is very simple and very clean programming environment. The GUI is very easy to use. It is open source and extensible. That means you can add more libraries in the software, and you can attach more hardware shields on top of the board. It can be extensible in the hardware as well. That means you can purchase more components, more shields and attach it with your Arduino board. How many pins are there? First of all, we are going to talk about a very basic board, and that is Arduino Uno. Here we have 14 digital input output pins. That means these pins can act as input as well as output, but only for digital systems, digital signals. Then we have these power pins. These can be used to power the external components. You want to provide ground or 5 volt to anything outside, you can use this. Okay, so if you have a breadboard, you have a sensor, you have a DC motor, and you want to give them some power, use these pins. These are 6 analog pins which are only input pins. If you have any analog sensor or anything which gives analog output, attach them here. And this is the microcontroller, which can be detached and reattached if it burns. So this is the beauty of this Arduino board, that you can reassemble it even if the microcontroller is burnt. So microcontroller is AVR. So what is the architecture? This is the broad block diagram of the AVR microcontroller. This is our core CPU, which is computing everything. It is supported with different memories like flash memory, EEPROM. It is also having the clock. You can have 8 MHz and 16 MHz signal here. On this side you have the support for different other communications through the input-output ports. We will talk about these different communications in the later series of the videos. So what are the features? In a summary, we have peripheral features. We have two counters which are of 8-bit. We have 16-bit timer or counter also. We have real-time counter with separate oscillator. So these are the timing related features. Then we have PWM, which is pulse width modulation. Here we can use digital pins to provide analog outputs. How to do that? We'll talk about that. We have 6 channel 10-bit ADC. These are the 6 analog input pins. What is ADC? We'll talk about this. We have the support of universal ART, serial communication, that is also supported. Master slave SPI, that means one board can control another board. Now in the next video we will talk about what are the different Arduino boards that are available in market and which one you should select for your project. Keep learning. Thank you.